So, good evening. We are live.
Yes, we are
Yay!
in a life.
And alive. Perfect. We are live and alive. So, good evening,
Exactly.
everyone. How are you?
How's everybody
How is
doing?
everybody doing?
We are sending here from here all these blessings and love.
Absolutely.
And we are again here with you, wanting to share information that can help us amplify our consciousness and possibilities to change our destiny. And that's what we are here for.
And the truth is that we are here to throw you down the rabbit hole. We just, Maya puts it pretty, and I put it the way it is.
So love that.
So my name is Jan Altagracia with
And I
Maya
am
Daddy del
Maya
Sol.
Dariel Sol.
We are on our Facebook Live. Welcome everyone. Let's
I-
have fun with this topic.
Yes, we are going to have a lot of fun
Yes,
today.
we are.
Because our topic today is the exclusion of the other one.
You know, those people that we invite into our life that were not really invited.
Yes.
Yes, and
And just say the right words. We invite them into our life, even though we don't think that we do.
we did it unconsciously.
We did it unconsciously. Yes. So that's a good point to start,
Mm-hmm.
right? We need to understand and be aware of the reality that we are creating and that we complain about our reality, but we don't do much to change it. Not because we don't want, but because we don't have the information to do it.
We are totally unaware.
We are totally unaware of that, and that's why we are here today with another piece of wisdom from this book called Alchemy for the Soul. I wrote this book last year, and this book contains 7 steps to transcend your ancestral past. And we are working on chapter 1, which is called the inclusion. We are working on creating systemic order because if there is no order, love cannot flow.
And alignment does not happen.
Yes,
So
definitely.
if you don't have the book,
Mhm.
definitely buy the book.
Yes, buy the
Buy the book.
book.
Okay.
Yes, you can buy the book in directly in our website, Alchemy for the Soul, that link. And when you buy it from our website, you will get some extra bonuses like the self-assessment workbook, which is amazing because once you do this workbook, you will be able to self-observe yourself where you are related to this information.
Yes.
See, because not many people is aware of, yes, I have to heal my thoughts. Yes, I have to heal my inner child. Yes, I have to heal my my limitations, my own limitations, but everything started before that
Mm-hmm.
in the systemic part of your life, which is your family system. So if we don't heal the ancestors, right? If we don't reconcile that past, then if we don't unleash that, then the descendants continue carrying the same sort of dysfunctional situations or experiences in their lives.
And like I like to say, it's like, but what do you mean?
Yes,
There it is.
yes,
The answer is here.
yes. And there are also something called systemic exercises that appear in this book that you can do to help you with that process.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alchemy for the Soul, we will be talking. Hi, Christine. Welcome. We
Yeah,
see you. You are in YouTube. Welcome, welcome. We see people already here joining us in YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Thank you all for being so present. We are so happy that you are joining and that
Absolutely.
you have been willing to listen to this information.
Yes, like the way I like saying, we are so happy you keep taking that red pill. It's the red pill, right?
It is the red pill. Yes, we talk
See,
a lot
I wore-
about the red pill
I
because
even wore the colors.
yes, you even wore the colors. We every time, and it's just something that we say that when you come to this house or when you come to this sort of knowledge that I like sharing, and when you come to the institute, It's like taking the red pill.
Right.
If you haven't seen the movie of the Matrix, there is a part where the guy tells Neo,
Yeah. Do
if
you want to
you
know the truth? The red pill, the blue pill, and
yes, and there is no return.
there's no return.
Yes,
Yes.
once you know the information, you will be like, oh, I wish I didn't know it. Or not. Maybe you can say, well, I'm glad I got to know it, but now I have some work to do.
Yeah.
And of course, it takes us out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
But that's
Yes.
what we are here for, to take you out of your comfort zone.
Right. That's what makes this fun every single Friday.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So, should we begin?
Begin? Yes.
Yes, I think it's time for us to begin with our topic today. Today is our, you gonna say something?
It's just that it's a toughy topic for me, so I'm bracing myself.
So just take a deep inhalation, Jared, because I know this topic is hard for you, as it is for many others, as it is for all of us,
Yes.
actually, because I would say that betrayal or infidelity is a, it always just like gets you.
It
It
opens
gets you.
it opens all the wounds.
Oh, it's a big trigger,
It's
it's
a
like
big trigger.
it's a big trigger when you feel betrayed by the person that maybe you love, or the person that you trusted,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden lies come around, infidelity comes around, abuse,
Abandonment. Oh,
abandonment, all of these things that are behind that of betrayal, and we don't know how to deal with it because it has been that our ancestors didn't know how to deal with that either, right?
I know.
We
For me, I used to say it's like the rug was taken from my feet. Like they took the rug from underneath my feet. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
yes, yes, it's like there is no floor. It's
There's
like you're
no
like,
floor.
what? I lost it all because I thought, I believed,
Mhm.
and it wasn't as I thought, and
Yeah.
then I feel like maybe it's just when you that feeling of feeling betrayed, it's not easy to digest
Yes.
or not even to metabolize
Yes.
and to transcend, because the hardest part is to transcend it.
And the fact that is that
Mm.
we created that.
Yes, and we created that, so
I
we're
had to
gonna
sit a
yes.
long time
Mhm.
with that one.
Yes, yes.
We created that.
Yes, so speaking of the law of attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about the perpetrator, and I've been talking about how it is that we attract these sort of experiences into our lives. And just to make a little intro before we go into the topic, yes, we create a reality because we don't know that we are carrying this memory that hasn't been solved in the past. So one of the descendants needs to resolve it. And in order for you to do that, you must experience it so you can recognize that there's something that is dysfunctional, that doesn't make you happy, that is bringing you these sort of experiences that are, just creating all of this chaos in your life. And then you can say, finally, at the end, you can say, well, I don't want any more of this. I don't want that in my life anymore. And then you start looking for help.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that that has been something that your family system has been carrying along generations is somehow helpful, because you said, oh, so it's not because of me, it's because it comes in my genes, in my genetic information. And then someone must heal it, and you can say, so I can change it, because
Mm-hmm.
yes, we can change that reality. Mm. And to change that reality, there are different things that we must do, right? To change that reality, we must first recognize, identify, and recognize and accept that those memories are part of our information, genetic information. To say that is like, okay, if my father or my mother betray, each other, let's say, or the betrayal has been, part of what my system is carrying, then why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why you attracted that sort of situations in your life where you betrayed others or you got betrayed. or you betray yourself, because that's pretty much what it is. It's not about the others, it's about you, but it's a memory that you're carrying and you don't know why you are experiencing that outside. And it is painful and I don't want it, but it keeps happening. So first step here is to integrate that, to say, I know, instead of rejecting, because the last program that I did was about how we what we resist persists
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want it. We resist it. I don't want that in my life, but it happens that it's within you. So how can you get rid of information that is already within you?
Right. It's like you don't want to identify with that identity that is you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
it's truly a tough one, you know, and it's hard to identify with the fact that I created this for a purpose and a reason.
Yes, it has all a purpose and a reason, and understanding that gives you peace of mind. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, so I incarnated here to serve life, because it goes beyond your family system and beyond what you're experiencing today with that situation. And to say, okay, my soul came to serve life and to serve this system, to liberate this function of the betrayal, let's say. And I had to go through it, but now I can recognize it, because the first
Right.
step to change that is to recognize that it is a memory that your system, your family system, has been carrying. And of course, it is also part of your information. It's in your DNA. So once I say, oh, okay, so it is like a magnet. If you carry it, then you're
Attracted.
pulsing to
Mm-hmm.
have that information. So it's like it magnetizes the same sort of information. If I have the betrayal memory that has been carried throughout generations in my family system, so I pulse with it. I'm a magnet to
Mm-hmm.
it. So I attract people
To fulfill that.
to fulfill that. So I
Yeah.
can be or the one who betrays or the one who gets betrayed.
Betray.
That's the name of the game. That's how it plays. That's the
Mm-hmm.
dynamic, let's say. That's the unconscious dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
So
what?
one more thing. So
Yes.
like one thing that Maya said that I really want to stress,
Mhm.
that whatever is happening, betrayal, whatever wound is happening, it's never about the person that did it. It's
Yes.
always about the experience that you need to learn so you can overcome it and
Yes.
heal it.
Yes.
It always is about you. And I know with me, I had to say that to myself a couple of times. Like now that I have more awareness, and it's a process,
Mhm.
you know, it's like the spiral. Like when something happens and it triggers that thing that I'm healing, now I can go back and say, oh. And sometimes it's hard to say it. Okay, let me look at it because it's not about that person that did that. It's about me,
Yes.
Janet. Observe.
Yes, yes. So it's about not finding the guilty one outside of you or blaming others about what happened,
Mm-hmm.
but to take responsibility of your part and see, okay, hold on. I am the one magnetizing that into my life. I'm the one attracting that into my life. So instead of keep trying again, I'm just going to say, well, this needs observation. Let's
Mm-hmm.
stop and see where it comes from and why I'm repeating that pattern. And so that's when you can say, okay, did I see stories of betrayal in my life? Sean is saying here, yes, my experience of betrayal in this lifetime is huge. Yes.
So I say, Sean, say thank you to the universe.
Yes, say thank you that I can recognize it
Yes.
today and know
Uh-huh.
that I keep living experiences not understanding why. Because this is the why. You carry that information, and that's why you magnetize it into your life.
So
That's
to
the law
you.
of attraction. It works in a positive and also works in this way, which is not negative. It's actually positive because we are all working on healing that. And we
Mm-hmm.
need servers, like you, that you can recognize today and say, oh, so I came to heal that. And I'm going to do something positive to help heal the system of life through my own healing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's how it works.
Amen to that.
Yes, so simple,
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 simple.
simple. Okay, but the thing, Janet,
Here it comes.
Here it comes. The thing is that when we are in the experience
Whew.
and the emotions arouse,
Oh
you
man.
are like, what? What? The- It's like you cannot control it. Your emotions can be, stronger than yourself and your own consciousness because it is hard to overcome that. It's
It's
hard to
not
even
pretty.
to accept it. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
Like I
And
said, it's not pretty.
it's not pretty. And the topic that, we bring today to the table is called the exclusion of the other one, which makes the work harder. The inclusion or the exclusion of the other one depends on you. And the service that you're doing to help heal that depends on how you can change your consciousness and create this inclusion of that energy that is within you. So to accept it, to integrate it, and to also accept and integrate as part of your system all of those people that maybe caused you that pain because they interfere somehow in your life, trying to show you what you had to heal, but today you judge them as the ones who caused you pain and suffering.
Because it's so easy to do that.
Yes, yes.
Why do I want to take responsibility? First of all, we're not even aware.
No,
It's
no.
just easier to blame.
Yes, it is easy to blame others about what happens to us.
Mhm.
But today, since we are here and we are working to create this alchemy for the soul, we need to see this from a different angle
Absolutely.
and from a different perspective.
Yes.
See?
Mhm.
So if you feel ready, right, to see this information from this angle, we welcome you here. This work and this information sometimes is like, that doesn't make sense for me. So maybe you're not ready to digest that today, but maybe eventually you will because the more you process this information, it's like you go one step forward into changing it, into
Mhm.
changing that into your life. Because if you don't take that step, you understand the why, but things continue happening. And we don't
Right.
want that. That's what I want to be clear and go straight up and tell you how it works.
Yeah. And
Yes.
just be gentle with yourself in the process.
Yes, yes, yes. And with others as well.
Yes.
With others, because now you can say, okay, so I'm attracting people that betrays me.
Mm-hmm.
See? And so you can, or I'm the one betraying others and I don't want to do it. I don't like hurting others, but I tend to do it. But once you can recognize it, that it's not you that want to do that, but your unconsciousness or the unconsciousness of your family system, you can say, oh, okay, so it's not me. And I can change that by changing your consciousness. That's all we need to work with to begin.
And especially also when we betray ourselves.
Yes, yes. So let's talk a little bit about the inclusion before we go about to talk about the exclusion of the other one. We are working right now on chapter number 1 of this book,
Mhm.
which is the inclusion. We all belong to the system. We all belong to our family system, and everybody, every member, no matter what they no matter what they think, no matter what they do or they did, they all belong to the system. We all belong. Now, if someone outside of your family system comes and do something to someone in this system, that person already belongs to your system.
Mhm.
Hmm? Should we repeat it?
Yes.
Yes. So if someone that is outside of your family system comes and affects your life in a positive or in a negative way, they already belong to your system. They become part of your system. They came to interfere in your life or in your system to give you a gift.
Mm-hmm.
that we sometimes don't see it as a blessing because maybe it creates conflict and it is difficult to accept things like abuse or rejection or humiliation or betrayal or abandonment.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
all these people that come to do this to the system is because the system needs to heal that. And it needs a descendant to take one of these energies and say, okay, I came to heal this part. I'm going to do that part. And that's why I had to experience in my life abandonment, betrayal, abuse, and all of the other things that we can mention here that can be a lot,
Yes.
right? So that is simple. That's physics. See,
Mm.
one thing takes this information to the next level, and it escalates, or it can, be broken. Which we can break that pattern as much as we can integrate and create this inclusion by recognizing that yes, Janet, if you came and did that to me, then you already belong to my system and you are part of my life because you and I had an experience. And so, if it was a hard experience and I want to reject you, I don't want to make you part of it. I want to push you so I can be
Mm-hmm.
myself in the scene. I'm denying my reality. But if I can say, Janet, yes, you came and you did that for me to see something that I needed to see. And I'm thankful because of that. And you belong. And I make you belonging because not only because what you did, but because in the larger picture, we all are part of one unit,
Right.
one system. So it's recognizing that as souls at service, one of those two lower the vibrational frequency in order to serve me.
Yes.
And so once I recognize this, I can see Jan and say, well, what you did, we made an agreement on
Right.
doing that. So thank you for that. Now I can recognize it. Now I can remember what it is for. And now I'm going to fix this part, not with you, but within me and with my family system that is behind me. You behind your family system have something to fix, and I'm gonna leave you with yours because I don't know what it is there, but you're showing me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take my part and I leave you with your part. And
Exactly.
you belong. No matter what you did, you belong.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
mhm, mhm. So Christine says here, if that agitator becomes part of the family system once they are integrated, do they remain?
Very good
That's a
question.
very good question.
Very good question.
Yes.
Yes.
So I love this question because they say that the agitator, as you call it, or the perpetrator, right, won't need to appear anymore when you integrate this energy. You don't have to be around that person because this person hasn't been able to see himself or herself or heal that energy of whatever is that person is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as I, with sincerity, from this level of consciousness, I can say, yes, yes, Janet, you belong. And you don't need to come back, and I'm not going to allow you. I'm going to create these healthy boundaries with you because maybe
Mm-hmm.
you haven't done your part or you're not willing to do your part. And that's okay. As much as I do my part, then I will create that energetic boundary that is
Mm-hmm.
healthy, not to be attracting into my life any more of the same sort of energy.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
how it works.
Mm-hmm.
See? So yes, when you integrate that, the energy doesn't need to be showing anymore. Doesn't need to come to the front line to say, okay, since you are rejecting me, I'm here again.
Right. They'll leave.
Yes, they already see that you are sincerely
Mm-hmm.
integrating something that is within you, so it doesn't need to be showing anymore in your life.
Yeah, it has to come totally from the heart.
Yes,
That is very key, from
yes.
heart and pure love.
And that you must do it in an experience, not just in the understanding in your mind of, oh, this is what I have to do. No. You do that when you do the experience of integration. For example, when you put yourself in a family constellation session and you can see the perpetrator in front of you and you can say, I can see what you came to show me. And I can see that my father did it like that. And I can see that I have been loyal to my mom and to reject you because my mom rejected the perpetrator as well, or whoever I'm identifying with. See? Or I'm being the perpetrator because I was perpetrated, or because I learned that being the perpetrator, being bullying as maybe my family was bullying. So I learned that and I have been doing it because I wasn't conscious of it. See? But that inclusion and that recognition with sincerity, it kind of brings this sort of movement that happens internally, not in your mind. I repeat it, not in your mind. You feel it. You really feel it. You have this state of, you don't know what it is, but even tears come to your eyes. And then you're like, and then you feel this, oh my God.
It's totally a heart opener.
It's a liberation, it's an
Yeah.
integration, it's an understanding that goes beyond the mind. It is an experience. This acceptance is not in the mind, not in the head. It's not fixed from there. It's fixed
From the heart.
from the heart. It's fixed from the soul.
From the soul.
From the soul level. And that's how you get to transcend these memories. So let's talk now about the inclusion of the other ones, since now we can understand that excluding is not really going to help,
Right.
but including is what is going to create the change. Makes sense, right?
Totally.
Okay. So, well, I would say that betrayal has been something that has been carried from forever. Yeah, you see the king of France, the kings used to have different women, for example, and even the courtesan, that's the name of it. Yeah, the courtesan.
Yes.
Yeah, the courtesans were allowed in the table even though the queen was there. So it was all allowed. See, because back then also it is a lot of information behind it. See, so let's say that betrayal is just a perspective of the mind that make us think that is bad doing that.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not necessarily that.
Right.
Right? So it's good to see this perspective from this angle. So instead of be judging this energy of the betrayal as that's bad, let's say, but it got normalized and it's showing something. It really is, there is no need to hear betrayal when we get to amplify our consciousness to say maybe there weren't enough men and then one man had to be with different women. For what? Because they needed to continue to procreate life.
And in those times, that was what was really important.
Yeah.
They wanted to procreate.
Exactly. They needed life to continue bringing more life because that was part of the survival of the species.
It was shorter lifespan.
Yes, exactly. So who put that thing in the mind that one person with different ones, right? Or the poly, how's that called?
Yeah, polyron. Come on. Poly. Oh yes.
That word.
Something.
Yeah. Someone please help us. That word, polygamy.
Polygamy. Yeah. There we go.
So that has a cultural, religious, and moral perspective behind it that make us feel that is bad. And of course, since we have a human heart and we connect emotionally and affectively, when someone does that with others, then we feel like, but it's hurtful.
Yes.
See, so we also need
Yes.
to help to heal that inner child that throughout generations felt jealousy or anger or sadness or frustration or resentment because of what happened.
Right. Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
And so we can go even beyond, but let's just say that this energy has been pulsing throughout generations. So, what do we need to do with that? Accept it. Let's say, yeah, that energy is part of our memories, the memories that we are carrying. Each of us is carrying these memories because all the memories of humanity are within you.
Every single one of them.
All of them.
Yes.
So just to say, maybe if I didn't do it in this life, maybe I did it in another life. If you believe in that, and your soul maybe did it with others or to others, or maybe others did it to you, and you still carrying the same sort of emotions of anger that what happened back then is still affecting you today, and so you keep attracting more people to betray you, or you keep betraying others because that's what it was, and you didn't think it was bad. It was just what it was.
It's like you might feel it like it's complicated, but it really is not. It's very
No,
simple.
it is
You
just the
create,
perspective.
yeah, you just create the experience that needs to be created for you to heal yourself and heal the system of life.
Yes. So that's what happens. And if you see in many cultures, like Muslims, for
Yeah,
example, they
yeah.
have is one man with different women, right? And all of this, even though they are family, it still creates jealousy.
Yes.
Yes, and um, these other men that have this tradition, the Amish, I believe.
The Amish. Yes.
Yeah, is one man with different women, and they need to be like a sisterhood, right? But they still feel jealousy because there is an emotion there that needs to be healed as well, right? And they need to accept it, but they really don't accept it 100%.
Yeah,
They,
it's tough, yeah.
yes,
Because it depends where you fall in the line.
exactly. So it happens.
Yes.
It happens. In family constellation sessions, I've seen here many cases. Like, for example, they will say, so I am the second one, but I have a sister that is my age. And I'm like, so how is that? Oh, because my father had an affair with another woman. And while my mom was pregnant, the other one was pregnant at the same time.
Yes. Complicated.
Yes. So this mother, who is, let's say, the legal,
The wife.
the wife, is not very happy about what happened outside of the marriage,
Yes.
right? What maybe this woman is not asking is that, but why did my husband had to go look for another woman outside of my marriage? That's a
Yes.
good question to
That's a
ask
very
yourself if that was your case.
right. And it's such a critical question
Yes.
because as you move on, you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
recreate that again.
Yes.
So it's important for you to understand it, to heal it, to integrate it, to transcend it. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore now you come from a pure heart,
Mm-hmm.
for the next time, you meet your mate or, the experience.
Well, yes. And when the idea is that you don't have to get there again.
Right. You don't want
The
that to happen
idea is
again.
that you can better say, I can see that something in my relationship wasn't working as it should have been, that my husband maybe went and looked for another woman outside of our marriage.
And it probably also, just to add to that, is that you were betraying yourself. So
Mhm.
therefore, you created the scenario to
Yes,
see the betrayal in your husband or wife finding someone else.
yes,
But when it comes down, it was you doing it to you.
yes. So this is the hardest part to accept.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, no, I didn't. I don't accept that. He was the one who went and did that. See, but the truth is that maybe this woman, which is this wife, hasn't been able to see that maybe his father used to do the same with um maybe her father used to do the same with her
Mother,
mother or
right.
to her
To
mother.
her mother, yes.
And so this child was learning that, oh, men betray. So I'm going to look for a man who betrays.
And you just do it automatically.
It happens automatically. You don't want that. Consciously, you don't want that. But it's not about what you want or you don't want. It's about what it is within you,
So
unconsciously.
unconsciously,
Mm-hmm.
because you bring what you focus on. So unconsciously, you are focusing on that. I don't
Yes.
want him to betray me. I don't want her to betray me. And there it is. The betrayal happened.
And the more you don't want it, the more it's going to appear
Yeah.
because it's what you came to heal, right? So that's the hardest part to understand and to accept. It's like, by why did it happen to me? And it's so hard because it is hurtful when you maybe are pregnant, expecting a baby, and then all of a sudden you realize that another woman is pregnant at the same time from your husband, maybe, and you're like, what? This this already at this point, that those two babies are already feeling the energy of betrayal because the memory get the impact of knowing this. The baby knows already that there is an energy that is pulsating and it just happened and it's creating something that mom is feeling. What is mom feeling? Maybe anger or sadness or resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And so the energy of these emotions that awaken with that sort of energy of the betrayal, well, the baby already reads that information. That means that this baby already knows. So when he's born or she's born, they might be doing it the same because
Yes.
it's information that hasn't come outside to the light and hasn't been healed. See? And so that's how it keeps running. So how can we change that? Because all of this is about that. How can I change that?
For a different outcome, a
Yes.
different reality, a different destiny.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So maybe if I was the one who got betrayed by my husband, let's say, so maybe I can, instead of blaming my husband, right, I can turn around and see my mom and my dad and look at my mom and say, Mom, out of loyalty to you, I attracted a man to betray me just as you accepted that to betray you.
That's a deep breath one.
Yes. And that out of love to you, I looked for a man just like you to come into my life and betray me. And now I can see that you too have an issue to resolve that you didn't get to solve, right? And that's why I'm carrying that. So I can see that that information is within me. And so I can integrate it today so I can liberate it. I can see it. I can recognize it. I can see that I pulse with that information, that I magnetize that energy. And that's why I attracted a man to betray me. And so I can liberate myself and I can liberate this baby who is already going through the same experience. And maybe you can see the other one, the one that is maybe, outside of the marriage and say, wow, thank you, because if you don't come, I don't get to see what I needed to see.
Yes, it's a process.
It's a process. I
That's all
know
I can
this part
say.
is not easy to
Yeah,
process and to understand, but it's a good beginning
definitely.
to
Yes.
see how the dynamic works and why that person was there and why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Why it
Yeah, it's
happened.
it's it's so beautiful to get the understanding.
Hmm.
Because just understanding why is liberating.
Yes, just that is liberating to say, oh, now I can see why I attracted this man and why he did that and why I was loyal to my parents to do it the same. And then that the other one is showing me, right, that the dynamic that we needed to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can see that person and say, thank you. If you don't come, this information can happen again down the
Right.
road to my children, and I don't want that. Or to my grandchildren, I don't want that. I want them to be free of experiencing the same pain and suffering,
It's breaking the cycle.
breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle. Yes.
So
It's a good topic.
it is a good topic. So at the end, you can look at the other one and say, I
Thank
can
you.
see you
Yes.
and I can recognize you. And you are part of my system. You somehow interfere in my life to show me something. And I'm very thankful, even though it's painful,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's hurtful, even though it's hard for me to process. I'm working on processing it. Maybe I'm working on processing it to begin. I'm working on accepting why it happened the way it happened, but I can see it clearly.
And that's the
Yes,
magic, being able to see it clearly.
yes. And to say, okay, and I'm gonna take my part to resolve it. And now maybe if this husband wants to leave, the marriage and go with the other one, maybe this husband has also an issue because of course you attracted a man that betrays. Maybe this man is not willing to see himself as this dynamic or this unconscious dynamic, but thinks that that's life or that's what happened or because of this, or blames others or blames you or whatever. Maybe this man is not ready to transcend this energy. But as much as you are, you can create the difference.
Yes.
Yes. And also, if you feel guilt, maybe because you were the one who did it, then you can say, I can see I was being loyal to you, dad, to do it the same as you. Or mom, because I have seen in therapy women, mothers who left the father because they went with another person. So I can
Mm-hmm.
see mom that I accepted that information. So and I because this is an unconscious loyalty. It's called the invisible loyalty because we don't see it, but unconsciously we do it out of love for mom. It's like, mom, I carry your emotions that you couldn't solve, and I carry your pain you couldn't solve, and I'm gonna do it the same, mom. I'm gonna try to solve it through me so you can be happy and free of it. But that's not how it works. The only way to liberate that is by taking the consciousness and say, okay, it is here in my lineage. It happened to me because of that, and then I can change that. And so instead of allowing your emotions to drag you into more unconsciousness, you can say yes, and it makes me feel anger. And maybe that's the anger that your mother didn't say or communicate or express.
Wasn't able to express. She stayed there
She kept it here and
in
she
her
never
throat.
said
Yeah.
anything because maybe she didn't want the marriage to finish. Maybe she didn't want no one to know what happened because that's humiliating, or what people gonna think about it. I'm not gonna tell anybody. So they kept all that anger or emotions here so they
Mm.
wouldn't communicate it. And so you still experiencing the same emotions as they did. So the idea is that you can liberate those emotions by acknowledging this and by feeling them. You can say, yes, and it makes me angry. What happened? Because I trusted and this happened, still happened.
And it's so important to express it
Mhm.
and feel it, and just feel everything.
Mhm.
All the emotions,
Just
all the
feel
emotion.
all the emotions. Just don't throw them outside aggressively to the one who betrayed you. But instead of that, just turn around and see that you are somehow feeling the exclusion that your mom could be feeling with the other one when your father did it.
Right.
And so you
Yeah.
can say, okay, mom, that's your emotion. I'm gonna give it back, give it back to you. That's not mine. And I don't need to be carrying these emotions. I only needed to be aware of the dynamic so I can liberate it today with this. I'm very honoring the destiny of what happened, honoring my destiny because it's showing me, and so I can do something. I can take a step forward out of it
Hmm.
and liberate myself from experiencing this energy again.
And this happens with a lot of compassion to both yourself and the entire experience of everyone involved in the situation.
Because that's your
So,
experience, Janet.
yeah, it's a tough one.
Yes, it is a tough one. Yes, it is not easy. So, for the ones that don't know what we're talking about, we are working on the inclusion and the inclusion of the other one, and why it's important to include the other one as part of your system, because this person came to interfere in your system to show you something, to
It's
create a change. Somehow things got to be shaken
yes, yeah,
for the order to continue flowing in order, instead of continue flowing again in the same
exactly.
dysfunctional way.
Yeah, it totally aligns everything. I can
Yes,
say that now. As I look, I'm like, God, what a gift, because the alignment is beautiful, but the process, you just, well, we chose to live for that alignment.
yes, yes. So it is a process, and we need to be compassionate to
Yes,
ourselves and say, I still feel anger, I
and that's
still
okay.
feel, and it's okay. Um, because that's part of liberating those emotions as well.
Yeah,
To allow yourself to say, that still is hard for me to process it, because that was not the agreement. But now you can also say, okay, but now that I can see it, then it's not being cautious, it's integrating to know that that information is within you, and that's why it happened to you. And
yeah,
that's actually creating a big quantum change that you don't see it right away, but eventually in your experiences you won't be attracting the same.
yes,
Yes, so it is something that is not, you cannot see the material at the moment, but actually that manifestation will come later and show you that that inner change is going to change your reality big time.
yes.
Yes,
Just know that it's happening, no matter where you are in the process.
yes. So for the ones following the book, we are on page 50, 56. And I'm just going to read a little part of it, so that is related to this topic that we were talking about today. And it says this: let's see an example of exclusion. We were talking about all the possible exclusion ways that create more exclusion, and of course, more disorder, and of course, more dysfunction, right?
Hmm.
And so, what we need to know is all of these forms of exclusion, so we can work on including and creating that order, so love can flow in our life. Mhm. So it says, a prevalent example is one of affairs outside of marriage. How many stories do you know about the other one or the other family not being included? And this is very typical. Like, you can ask, some families, like, that say that the former wife would say, no, my husband is only us,
Right.
and excludes the other family, and maybe that other family has also children, and excludes the other one and those children, and that is going to affect the whole system. So it says here, how many stories do you know about the legitimate family not wanting to share the inheritance with the family members of the non-considered legitimate family? It happens a lot.
It's very common.
Very common. Yes, these situations can affect both systems physically and energetically. Remember that all of these dynamics keep playing energetically. We don't see them. That's why it's hard for us to recognize them, but they are active. They are doing their part. Mm? Cases like these can create systemic conflict between the siblings or affect even their finances. For example, in case that an inheritance isn't distributed in a fair way, eventually this decompensation can bring debts or loss to one or some of the descendants. Life is always finding ways to compensate for what hasn't been compensated in the system. Yes, I have seen a lot of these stories where maybe one comes and says, because they say, well, yeah, my mother knew about the other one, but we don't even consider them as our siblings. And yes, my father died and everything was for us. And no, we didn't share our inheritance. So what happens here is that other family that is outside of this legitimate system is being affected by this. So if this system takes all of that inheritance, means that it wasn't there was no evenly distributed because there are more siblings. It's not only the ones that were here.
Right.
The organ part is just a paper, but energetically and physically they are there. They are siblings. And the other one is, let's say, the other is the second woman of this man. So this, let's say that these people took all the money, but this money might get lost somehow because see, they might think that they are taking it all, but eventually that inheritance can be lost because someone outside wasn't given their part. And so if you take two parts when only one part is yours, that creates the balance to go off and is going to affect maybe the finances of all of those siblings. See, it is all law of compensation because the system of life has a law of compensation that we don't see, but it's still happening because there are laws on heaven as they are here on earth.
It's like the universe will always do the correction.
Yes,
The law of compensation.
that's the law of compensation. So it says here, another conflict for the children who are not recognized by the parents is that of affecting their self-worth and the deservingness. And this is very important. See, because let's say that the father didn't give their name to the other children that he had with the other one, then these children feel like I'm not recognized energetically. Energetically. See? And this is making this person feel, well, I'm not worthy of a father. Like, so I'm not really worthy of anything. It's like I'm incomplete. I'm incomplete. And all of this is felt unconsciously within you. And you might say, no, I'm fine without my father. Or we didn't need him, my mother provided for us. But energetically, something is not in harmony there because it wasn't reconciled. And that is going to affect the life of this person in the future, this child in the future, especially with his or her relationships and finances as well.
Yes. Yeah, especially in the marriage relationship with the mate. Yeah, it affects you.
Even deservingness. It's like I don't deserve an inheritance, so I don't deserve anything in life. So maybe this person is not gonna be able to make money or be independent or don't believe in what your possibilities because I don't deserve.
The beginning of self-sabotage.
Yes, yes.
There it is.
See how those little details can affect a descendant unconsciously? Yes, big time. Perhaps today a surname is not as important as before. In the past, when a child didn't get the family surname, was considered a bastard and not belonging to the clan. Perhaps the fact of not feeling that we belong can be attached to our ancestors' past, and we don't know it. See, this is very important. In the past, having a last name was so important.
Yes.
Also, you are, this is your last name, so you belong to this clan. But when you didn't have a last name, you were like nobody. And that was like a way actually of surviving. If I don't belong to a clan, it's like I don't belong to anybody. I cannot connect with anybody. So I'm in survival mode because no one is going to give me a job, or I'm not going to belong to society or to a group of people, to a community. I'm not going to be accepted. In those times, our ancestors didn't accept others if they didn't have, let's say,
The name.
the name.
You were outcast.
Yes, you were outcast as those.
You don't belong.
Yeah, you don't belong to our society. You don't belong to our community. You are just anybody. And they were treated like that. So see how it affected that. So maybe today, if you feel somehow like I feel like I don't belong, maybe one of your ancestors didn't have a last name somehow, and maybe you feel no belonging. See, like I'm gonna say it here, my grandma's father, and I found out this maybe a few years ago, wasn't her real father. So that last name is lost.
Mm-hmm.
So what are going to be the consequences of that? See? Maria is saying here, if my grandfather on my mom's side had another woman as he was married with my grandmother. Yes, that's the perfect example of what we are talking about today. So that other woman belongs to your system. And if maybe grandma didn't want to include this woman because of the anger or whatever the frustration she felt, you today as a descendant, you can just look to that system and say, you are the other woman of my grandpa and you belong.
Mm-hmm.
I honor, I position you in our system, you belong. You are part of it. And that creates a big change.
Yes.
Big change. It might seem like there are only words or that we are here talking, but this systemic order creates magic when you create this order of saying you belong. It's all you have to say. I can see you and I can recognize you. And if grandma couldn't, I do recognize you. You belong. You are, and you had maybe children, right? That are my uncles or my aunts. So you are my family.
Mm-hmm.
See? Makes sense?
It totally sets you free.
It sets you free.
It totally sets you free. It's like the Bible. The truth will set you free.
Yes.
That truth will set you free.
Yes, definitely. So to finish this part that we wanted to share today, let's see what it says here. This kind of conflict continues to happen even to this day, when the other and her children feel rejected, there is an exclusion happening. Yes, because that creates a sort of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not being accepted even though I'm born. So I exist. What can I do?
Right.
You as a descendant say, but I am already here.
Yes.
And I'm not being accepted. I'm rejected. I'm being excluded from the system that's still my father,
Mm-hmm.
even though I don't have his or her his last name, let's say.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So think about this. What stories can you remember from your family system that can be related to exclusion? Just think about that. What stories can you remember from your family system that can be related to exclusion? Think about this because this is very important. It is going to help you bring order just by you saying, now that she said that, I can remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on that. Write it down on your notes. I need to create inclusion with this person.
Yes.
Did you feel rejected somehow? Or did you feel rejected by someone in your system? Who or what did, oh, no, this is the question. Do you remember if your mother, listen to this one, do you remember if your mother used to exclude exclude someone or something? Just think about this one deeply. Just think about what mom used to complain about. What didn't she like, or what person didn't she like? Because those exclusions that mom did, you are loyal to do it the same somehow. You like, if mom doesn't approve that, I'm not going to approve it, because we are very loyal unconsciously to our mother, even though we say no,
Yes, we are.
we
Yes,
are.
we are.
See? So, did you feel rejected by her, by your mother? So there is an exclusion there. That maybe your mother is rejecting you, so maybe there is a part of her, or an exclusion that hasn't been able to be seen. See? Who or what did she complain about? Because that might be an exclusion there. Who or what did she criticize or judge? It could be an exclusion there. What did she tell you that she didn't like about your father?
That's a big one.
Yes, this is a big one.
Yeah.
What did your mother tell you that she didn't like about your father? And this one is very important for you to think about, because what she rejected from your father, she might be rejecting in you as well.
Yes.
And you might be rejecting yourself, that part of you in you too. So think about this one. What about your father as well? Who did your father exclude? What or who did he complain, criticize, or judge? And we want to invite you to do that homework and to take some time to write down notes on, now I'm seeing, now I'm observing, now I can. You need to connect your dots.
Yes, very important.
You need to connect your dots to complete your puzzle, your own puzzle.
Yeah.
That's the homework.
See the big picture.
See the big picture. So I guess that's all for today. And if you haven't purchased the book,
Buy the book.
Buy the book, Alchemy for the Soul. You can buy it in our website, alchemyforthesoul.link, or you can go to Amazon and purchase it there.
And definitely hit like.
Yes,
Definitely
please.
And share. Okay, definitely like and share. Anybody that resonates, please do share with them. We definitely want to bring this out to the world.
Yes, and also, if you are in my YouTube channel in English, because this is our YouTube channel in English, I left in the description of this program, there is a link, because we are building a tribe that wants to heal this part of their soul, right? The ancestors part. And so we created this tribe to meet online once a month. It's a free meeting where we can meet and express and share and observe and cry and laugh and heal all together as one. So go to that part of the description and join there. It says just register here. And so our meeting will be on the 25th of May. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the 25th of May at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to join us, welcome. It's always so healing. Those sessions are so healing.
And powerful.
Yes, and powerful.
And eye-opening.
Yes. And we always need a tribe where to be able to express safely and to be vulnerable and to say, okay, I'm in a safe place where I can open up and say my truth and can see what is happening to me, and we can all heal as one. And thank you everybody for being so participative today. Maria says, what about if my grandmother excluded my mother, my father's mom? There you go. Then there is another exclusion here. So you must work on including your father, because your mother excluded something about your father, right? And you say here, my grandmother excluded my mother. Yeah, and we need to see that when I do share things here, like I talk in general, I will have to go deeper so to really understand the case. But if you want to have a session, a family constellation session, Janet and I are facilitators, family constellations facilitators, and you can get
A one-on-one.
a one-on-one session or a group session.
Or a group session.
Our
Yeah.
group session, actually, even if you are online, you can participate. You can be online or you can be on site if you live in the area of Orlando. And our next session is on the 21st. In English, it will be in the morning from 10 to 1, 10 a.m. till 1. So contact me. I left all the information on my YouTube channel on description, and then or contact me by WhatsApp and say, Maya, I want to participate. I'm ready to constellate or whatever.
Yes. Those are they dynamic. They're really nice.
Yes. Yes.
You come out a whole new person.
Yes, definitely. That's what we are working on to transcend. To transcend. All right. So I guess
remember to share. Okay, remember to share. Remember to put the book up. Buy the book.
Janet is the best one for this. Buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book because it really is transformative. Okay, you learn so much. It's so deep, and of course, then you have the group sessions to get your support and your tribe. Okay, so it's safe, and you'll be complete.
Yes.
You're complete.
Yes. So thank you for being so present.
Yes.
We it wouldn't make sense for us to be here
Yeah.
if this information you weren't there to receive it and to give us the opportunity to create a change. Because this is a change that is going to favor us all.
Absolutely.
All, not only you, but all. And that's why we are here.
Yes, it's a whole other dynamic. We appreciate each and every one of
Yes,
you.
thank you.
And we say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, we send you tons of blessings and love. And we hope to see you next Friday with another amazing topic of how to going down the rabbit hole to create order in your family system so you can create order in your life and create a different reality and destiny for yourself.
Yeah, I like that topic.
Yes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you next time around. Sean, we see that you're here too. Acceptance of what happened has been very hard. Yes, it is always hard,
Yeah, it is.
but it's part of the process. Thank you for being so brave and to say, okay, let's confront this and see what I can do with it.
We are the brave ones.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next
Friday.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your weekend and happy Mother's Day.
To everyone. Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. Actually, the mother keeps the secrets.
Yeah, we hold it.
We hold most of these unconscious secrets. And the more women get to be willing
to open
up and to heal, the more we women can help the system of life transcend the past and yes, and bring for the descendants and for the new present a different reality. So thank you so much for all women that that do this part of the job, because this is a job. Being a mother is also that.
We're being besides courageous and so
thank you, Sean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Maria, and also Christine. We see here people in YouTube. Thank you so much. We love you all. Yes. We'll see you next week. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. This way, this way. There you go.